Hi, I'm Dan, and this is my channel RuscoDev. What we're looking at here is my Python dungeon crawler game engine. And what I've done to start this running is I've run game.py and I've passed it the parameter games/dan.json. Now the game itself is actually defined in a JSON file. The Python script is just the engine. And I'm going to show you exactly how that works shortly. But first of all, let's take a look at the game. So right now we are in the entrance hall. That's our location in the game right now. So if I type help, I can actually see the commands that I can perform. So I'm going to run stats. That's going to show me that I have health of 100, gold 0. I'm carrying my armor is a holy shield, defense 1, and a broken sword, damage 1. I'm starting off with some pretty terrible gear, but that's okay. So the first thing we're going to do is look again. Well, we didn't look, but we'll look this time. And we see that we're in a dimly lit hall. The exits are to the north is a dank hallway. I see a wooden box, I see an iron box, and I see a skeleton. Now the skeleton has low HP, we can take him out. But let's take a look at what's inside the wooden box first. So open wooden box. Alright, we have got a steel sword with a damage rating of 3 in here. So absolutely yes, we're going to replace our sword with the steel sword. So we type yes, we type stats again, and you can see now that we are doing much more damage, 3 times the damage with our steel sword than we were with our broken sword. So let's take a look around again. We see the skeleton. Let's attack skeleton. That's the wrong command. It's my own game, you would think I would know. Fight skeleton. Alright, the skeleton, we attack the skeleton for 3 damage. The skeleton attacks you for 2 damage. Our armor absorbs 1 damage. Let's do it again. Fight skeleton. Alright, we defeated the skeleton and gained 10 gold. So now if I run stats, there we go. We lost a little health. Our shield took some damage. But that's okay. And we got 10 gold. So how does this all work? Let's take a look at some code here. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to look at the JSON file. So the JSON file gives us some descriptions here. The game is called Dan's Dungeon, and it's an example game. And here we have our starting weapon and starting armor. Both of those you saw in the game. Now loot is all the possible loot available in the game, and this is randomized in the chests. So we have the wooden sword of minor irritation, iron sword, steel sword, hide shield, wooden shield, iron shield. Rooms, again, an array. We're in an entrance hall. We can go north to the dank hallway. Monsters in here are the skeleton with the health of 5. That's the skeleton we took out. The dank hallway, again, we're in a dank hallway. It smells funny. North is dining room, south is entrance hall. In the dining room, there's another wooden box. There are exits to the dank hallway in the library. There's a skeleton in here. In the library, there's actually a zombie. So you can travel throughout the game and you can fight these enemies, you can search these boxes and collect different kinds of loot. So let's look at the couple of models here. Now, this is the player. These are all the stats that the player has, including the current room. We saw all of these in stats. Current room is more of an internal thing that we don't show the user. Monsters have their name, health, damage, and the amount of gold that they drop when you defeat them. Game.py, this is kind of where the interesting stuff happens. So this is where we're parsing the configuration of the game from the JSON. It's not particularly interesting, but this is where we get our loot, this is where we get our rooms. Then we return the game config with all that information. Now here's a couple of the interesting functions. Now you call stats, it's going to print out the player's stats. You look around, it's going to print the room description, and then it's going to print all the exits that are available in that room, all the chests, and all the monsters if there are any. Now when you go to move, you pass it a direction. You'll either go that way if the room exists, or the game will tell you you can't go that way. Now here's where we open a chest. If the chest is opened, we say it's opened. Otherwise, we open it and find loot. Fight is when you take on a monster. So if the first thing that happens is, say the monster's already been defeated, the game will tell you that. But otherwise, you attack the monster. If you defeat it, you gain money. However, if the monster's health does not fall 2 or below 0, the monster will actually attack you back. And this is where your armor comes into play, and you take damage. And this here is just our game loop. This is where we check to make sure the player is still alive. Check for commands like stats, look, go north, go west, open, for example, open chest, and fight. So fight skeleton, for example. And then just help and quit. And there you go. That is how the game works. And just for fun, let's quit the game, start again, and actually go to another room, because we didn't do that in the first demo when I looked at this. We just fought a skeleton and opened some boxes. But if I go north, it'll tell me I've gone north to the dank hallway. And when I look, that will tell me that I'm in a dank hallway. And I can go north. Let's go north again. I'm in the dining room. Look around. Skeleton is here. Go east. Look around. And a zombie is here. Let's fight the zombie. Alright. So we engage the zombie in battle. I managed to do 1 damage. Let's do that again. Let's do fight zombie. Fight zombie. And fight zombie again. And again. And again. This is a healthy zombie. How much damage does this zombie have? We're going to keep fighting this zombie until we take it out. The zombie's down to 1 HP. And we did it. We got ourselves 20 gold. Thank you for watching.